Welcome to the Universal Dancer podcast with your host Leslie Zare, author of The Alchemy of Dance and the Alchemia Remedies. Coming to you from Cairo, Egypt, the ancient land of Kem. Journey with us to explore sacred dance, the sacred arts, the mystical and the magical. Join a community of like-minded souls seeking to understand the cosmic dance of co-creation through the sacred arts. Come along and expand your mind, ignite your creativity, and explore something new and something old. Welcome to the Universal Dancer podcast. I'm Leslie Zare, your host for the podcast. And today we have a very special episode for you. We're going to be talking about the global water dances. And I have two special guests. I have Marylee Hardenbergh, who was the first artistic director for the global water dances. And I have Vannia Ibarguen, who is the current artistic director. So let me introduce you to them now. Vannia Ibarguen is a Peruvian facilitator, performer, choreographer, dance educator, and artistic director of VIDA, Vannia Ibarguen Dance Arts. Her artistic research is focused on the interaction between dance and technology, the relationship between classical, contemporary, and folk dance styles, and the improvisation and technique. Vannia earned her MFA in dance at the University of Maryland and has received awards for her choreography in the United States, Peru, Argentina, Cuba, and Colombia. She is also the artistic director of Global Water Dances, a biannual event where more than 180 cities around the world create outdoor dances to create awareness about water issues and the local and global community. Vannia is on the faculty at Cerritos College's Dance Department, board member of the California Dance Education Association, and professional fellow at the Arts Council for Long Beach, California, and was one of the facilitators at the Sacred Dance Guild's Journey to Peru in 2024. As a dance educator, Vannia promotes body awareness and somatic practices within the techniques to help her students build a solid foundation to achieve longevity in their dance careers. Marylee Hardenbergh has been creating site-specific dances for 40 years in such locales as Sarajevo, the Volga River, the Mississippi River, and the Mediterranean shores. She was the first artistic and executive director of the Global Water Dances, and before that, of One River, Mississippi, which was a multi-site simultaneous dance spanning the length of the river in 2006. That event was then used as the template for global water dances. She is now specializing in teaching community-based, site-specific performance events and was invited to teach in Korea last year with the Bogeol Community Dance School. She is a certified Laban movement analyst, a board-certified dance therapist, and is currently the co-vice president of the Sacred Dance Guild. She loves teaching dance, anatomy, and space harmony. Let's welcome them to the show. Hello, ladies. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Leslie.
Hello.
It's wonderful to be here with Vannia and you.
Well, we're here. Yes. It's nice to have a group chat here for a change. So today we're here to talk about the global water dances, which I actually learned about, I think it was 2010, from Marylee when we met in Connecticut at the Sacred Dance Guild Festival. That was the first time I had heard about it. And then we, here in Cairo, we participated in 2011 and 2013, I think. So it continues on. Marylee was the artistic director and executive director, and now Vannia is. So I have them both here today so we can talk about sort of the history of it and also where it is in present day. So I think the best place to begin is with what is the global water dances and how did it start? So maybe I'll begin with Marylee, since you were one of the original founders, I believe. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about what it is and how it actually began.
Sure. Well, I'd like to start with how it actually began. Um, so in 2008, Laban movement analysts were invited to come to England, where Rudolf Laban had taught, for a weekend workshop on using dance and the environment together. And so we, and it was actually during that weekend that the head of the woman, Karen Bradley, who had invited everybody right away. She said, "Well, I didn't really plan anything. What do you guys want to do?" And so I'd like to see Marylee Hardenbergh's video of her One River, Mississippi, which I had done 2 years previous. And I said, "Well, I didn't bring any. I didn't bring a DVD. Remember those?" And someone else said, "Well, I brought the DVD." So we all watched it. And what was so exciting was afterward, everybody said, "Oh, we want to do something like that." So something where there were many things happening at the same time. And but what should we do? So then we experimented. Would we concentrate on soil? What would we concentrate on? And it just became so clear to people to concentrate on water, because our bodies are made up of, huge percentage of water, and everybody has water issues. So so that's how it started. And then Karen said, "Marylee, you have to be the artistic director. You're the only one who knows what you're doing." I was like, "Okay." So yeah, and then for the first 3 years, I was like, "We can't start." And some of our group, our steering committee, were like, "No, we have to start right away." I was like, "No, we don't want this to be sloppy. We want it to have it really clearly what we're doing. We want to have a nice website." So the first year we were astounded, because I don't know, we thought we'd have like 16 or 20 sites around the world saying that on this particular day at this particular time they would create a dance. Um, we had 56 the first year. It was just amazing. And then
Wow.
we also decided
Which
to
was the first year? What
2011.
year was that, the first year?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so that was our first year, and I'll let Vanya talk a little bit about our 10th year anniversary, which we had, gosh, 3 years ago now. Um, but we had a wonderful international steering committee, and we would meet on Skype, I think it was back then.
Mhm.
And yeah, and we had a wonderful website, and it was, so whatever, how many years ago it was, 13, just collecting the videos was a big deal compared to now. You had to
Yeah.
set up a special web link to receive the videos, and it would take forever to download, like 2 gigabytes, and now it's just a whole different kettle of fish. I mean, it still takes a lot of time, but I'll pass it over to you, Vanya, and talk about what's going on
Where
now.
we are now, yes.
Yes. So when in 2011, when everything started, I mean, with 3 years of preparation, of course, I was by that time in Peru, and I was called by Karen Bradley and well, I don't remember, email. Yeah, more than call. And Marylee, to be one of the participants for Global Water Dances. By that time, I already finished my um, master's, where I met Karen Bradley, who was part of the steering committee by the time, and still is part of the steering committee. And I did my participation in Lima, Peru. So it was a beautiful experience. Again, something that I never did before. To me, it was something so beautiful to be connected with other people that were around the world, even if you couldn't see them at that time. You could feel the energy, that you knew that somebody else at the same time was also dancing. Um, well, now that I remember, at the time it was like not necessarily at the same time.
Yeah.
Only people,
It was
right,
like a
who were
wave, right? Yeah. We all did
exactly
it at the same time in our time zone.
local
Yeah. Yeah.
time. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was at the same time, local time. We knew that we were dancing at the same time in our own, um, time zone, but also we were giving to the next people who were dancing after us in the next time zone. So that, it's a beautiful also reminder of that we are not by ourselves as dancers, as human beings, but we are, and we don't need to be all together, but also how actions can lead to something else, right? So the concept of a wave of actions, a wave of dancing, was something really beautiful. And yeah, and then after that, I became part of the steering committee too. um, I moved to Colombia, and then I moved to United States, and then I became part of as a first associate director with Marylee, so she could teach me all the uh, little things that became big things. And then I was, yeah, finally the artistic director. I think it was in 2016. Yes, and the movement grew. I feel like everybody felt the same that I felt when I was part of Global Water Dances. This beautiful sensation of not being by yourself, not being alone. You are with your community, but at the same time, you are part of a bigger community. So that's one, I think, of the big pros or things that people look into it. Also the theme of water, as Marylee was saying, water is everywhere, and because it's also in our bodies, but at the same time everybody has a special relationship with water. So either because especially the participants, they join us because they see the water as healing. Sometimes they see water as how you are embodying your own water. Sometimes they see us as a theme of inspiration, for artistic inspiration. So how water moves, and other big group also see water as something that we need to protect. So the environmental dancers or environmental activists. Now that's another word that also came up. So we have an array of different ways how people feel called to be part of our movement, and I think that's the beauty of global water dances, and also how people from different parts of the world, from different also styles of dance, or feelings, or why they want to be part of it. So now we did our global water dances also in 2021, right after quarantine, or during quarantine. So many people during that time, they were, kind of navigating their own lives, and so in different locations they were able to actually do a water dance, which means, for those who maybe don't know about global water dances, we ask people to dance outdoors. We ask people to dance near a body of water to raise awareness about water, their own water issues, or to elevate or celebrate water. So by that time, some of them were able to go outdoors and film themselves. Some of them were not. So we gave flexibility for people to do it. So they didn't have to actually dance on that day, but actually whenever they wanted to do it, were able to do it because they laws and rules change every day. You can go
Yeah.
outside, you cannot go outside. You can, you know, you can be with other people 6 feet apart.
You can dance
So
really far apart from each other. Yes.
exactly. So we encourage people to dance together, but at the same time, we were aware of, the limitations. So we also were like, if you want to dive by yourself in front of water inside your house, you can do it. Any type of dance is well received. So 2011 was, 2021, yeah, was a challenge, but at the same time, we were really happy to do it because it was our 10th anniversary. So we were like, we want to do this big, and beautiful, accessible. So we did, what we did is to create also a festival, a video festival, film festival. So we accepted videos from everyone, videos that were related to dance and water in any way. And we were thinking also, okay, we're going to receive, just maybe a dozen of videos and people will be okay. At the end, how many there were, Marylee? I think there were like 100 something videos.
Something crazy. Yeah, it
Wow.
was over 100 for sure. It was crazy. It was
It was,
wonderful. Yeah.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. We have, again, different themes, people dancing in big groups, people dancing small by themselves, and beautiful videos also, letting people know their own locations, like where everybody was dancing, and which is beautiful to see too, to see where people are at, right, where they are standing on, and from all around the world. And we were like, oh, okay. So now we had to do, like, it was really like a big film festival. And we decided to do it in at 2 different time zones to release the videos. And it was like a watching party of many hours.
I bet.
And yeah, some people were, welcome to come at any time. And we were featuring, like, at this time, trying to also let people know what time they're going to be featured. So it was a big effort, but it was beautiful. And at the same time, also, we decided to do a big Zoom meeting where everybody, especially the site leaders, were able to meet all together and to dance at the same time. So we had, again, 2 different times to facilitate people because it's, time is different everywhere. So
Yes.
and we have two, yes, like right now.
Uh-huh.
And so we had 2 different times that we danced together. It was also beautiful to see everybody. It was the first time that we actually were all dancing together at the same time. Uh, um, and there were a couple of groups that I remember that they had actually their dancers dancing there. I remember Greece, they have people there, and I think in Peru too, or Colombia, that they had their students there. So it was really, really beautiful to see that. And it was all, during those difficult times, and people, actually, we were not sure if people will,
Yeah.
show up and do it, or the reverse. They're like, oh no,
No,
but at
but
the
what
end,
a
I think,
wonderful thing to do. Yes, I
Mhm.
think so. I think it gives you a sense of purpose, and that's what we all needed at that point in time. So I'm sure to focus on something positive was very uplifting to a lot of people.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
speaking of purpose, I'll never forget the first year we had 4 dancers from the Beijing Academy of Dance. And so they went outdoors and they did their video. But one of them wrote and said, "Oh, I never thought about using dance for a purpose, like an environmental purpose." And
Wow.
it just really opened their minds. And I love what you just said, Leslie, about it. That's what it just has, a sense of purpose. And from the very beginning, the global water dances, it's like So there's so many people who love dance on the planet, and the idea of being able to join in using our form of dance to help create awareness about water, I just think it appealed to people right away.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think art is such a wonderful vehicle for change because people do respond to it. So or it's attractive. So you bring attention to whatever your cause is. We also in Egypt, we did the global water dances, and we also did something called Theater Uncut, which was again like 2011 when you know we had Arab Spring and all this kind of stuff, and it was just so interesting, and it was so effective. The same thing with global water dances. I remember when we did it, people came and it's like, why are you doing this? Well, we have water problems. We do. Yeah, we have really big ones, you know, but but there are so many people that are just not aware. So I think through the vehicle of dance or art in other ways, you can attract attention to something. And also I think with dance, you can move through something, or you can tell stories, or you can show situations. And I do think it creates some kind of emotion. So it hits people on that level. So I do think that art, specifically dance, it really is a good vehicle for change. So maybe we can talk about that a little bit more in the sense of how do we use it? Like, how are we going to use dance to bring these issues out into the public, or you know, so that they're visible? How, with global water dances, how do you do that? How do you bring attention to these different issues? You said that each site might choose something that was particularly relevant to them, but what would, maybe you can give some examples of how, what that might be.
So sure. So
Mhm.
so from the very beginning, we were using, as you said, the template from the One River, Mississippi, where we had 4 sections of the dance. And the first section was honoring water in whatever way. It could be a ritual, could be whatever. People did that differently, and that was up to them. The second one was to create a dance using your own music, and drawing attention to your own body of water or your issue that you wanted to draw attention to. And then the third was the global. So we had what was it, 8 or 9 minutes at the time, where we had everybody, it was on a video. Please learn this. These are the movements that everybody all over the world is going to be doing, you know. And then the fourth one was the audience participation, bringing the audience in through movement. And so for the for section 2, so in Minneapolis, our dance was on the Mississippi River, but the thing is that the chemicals that go into the river from either from people's lawns, you know, using a lot of chemicals to get rid of dandelions or whatever. And then we have a lot of farms, tributaries, that also use a ton of chemicals, and it just goes into the river. And then there's a dead zone at the bottom of the Mississippi River that's still there, but nothing grows at all because all the oxygen has been sucked out to
Wow.
take care of, you know, these chemicals. So that's a for instance. Do you want to talk about Peru or another one, Vanya?
Oh, sure. Yes, now that you mentioned Peru, in 2011, we were concentrated a little bit on, we were dancing in front of the Pacific Ocean, but we were talking about how scarce water is in some locations in Peru, even if we had a big ocean in front of us, a big reminder of water, right? That is so abundant. We didn't have enough water for people who were living near the, just, a few kilometers or miles away from the ocean. The access of water, and so that was kind of our main point. So but then also in Peru, in the next years, there was another choreographer who made a stance about also the El Niño phenomenon, which is when waters actually are, the whole thing about um, um, uh, how it impacts and the community, and it's a natural event, but at the same time how it leaves a trace that they want the communities to come together, and at the same time also the government to take measures about it. So it was a little bit political too. So in general, I feel like public performances are very political in nature, even if we are not saying this is political, just bodies there dancing.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
very
there.
yeah, right. It's like hello. So and there were also yeah, many examples around the world that actually made impact, and that's why we decided also in 2019 to create something that we call the Site Impact Fund. So we support some choreographers and dancers that are looking that connection between dance and environment, looking for ways to communicate that, and to offer support to them, especially if they are in zones that are that usually they don't receive help in order to create a video, to do the event, etc., etc. So the main, those little things that again are big things. So thanks to also that, and not only to that, but the good thing is that we were able to hear more about all the different issues that were happening around the world, and we created in 2021 our 10-year anniversary documentary. I forgot to mention that. And you can see from 2011 all the beauty, and from the different locations, and all their, the site leaders that we call them, the choreographers that are participating, how they also imagine their own what they want to do for these local dances, right? What they want to portray, also what is the situation in their own locations and how their communities are coming together. So I feel like we were looking for trying to express also what is the impact, or what is the, how it's changing lives, how global water dances is giving a little bit of support, or making this visible that maybe they were not visible in other locations. So I feel like that was something that we did, and that we're feeling very proud of the documentary, right, Marylee? And the documentary is that was also part of the 2021 activities that we had, and it's available online, so anybody can see it and watch it, and see a little bit more about all the actions that every location was going for. Yeah.
So what does it look like now? Is it still, I know what it was more than 10 years ago, but what is it now? So is it all happening on one day, and are people doing the same dance? So maybe take us through what the event actually looks like. Vannia, maybe you
Yes.
can, since you're the artistic director at this point, give us a glimpse.
Sure. So we are keeping the same structure as at the beginning because it was amazing. So Marylee, yay! And we are keeping those 4 different sections. And
Okay.
also we are asking people to we set a date for that, so we are still doing in one single day, but also we give flexibility to people who are not able to dance on that day to do it on a different day. But the intention is to have a shared day where we can all feel the energy. And we are given the option to do it at different time, at any time, because we know that at some point anybody in around the world is going to be dancing. So instead of being like necessarily a wave, it's a little bit more like a sprinkles. And it's
Showers.
going, yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we actually learned the very first year, you probably both remember, we told everybody to do it 5 o'clock their time. But we heard from people from Australia, people in the Southern Hemisphere is like, yeah, it was getting dark and cold. So
Yeah.
it was like, okay, we don't have to have it be at the exact same time. So
Yeah.
wherever your time zone is. So anyway, we've learned our lesson on that. And I like your word sprinkles, Vanya. Like,
Yes.
Yes.
And yes,
But
the
is it
idea is
still
mhm.
streamed? I mean, is it being live streamed? I know the first year we tried to live. I don't even remember if we succeeded, but I remember that it was being live streamed. Is that still happening, or how is it sort of presented?
Yes. So for us, the most important part is that it could be uh, video recorded for the future, so we can, expand that information or that action. We don't require live streaming, even if now is a little bit easier. But we ask people also, if you're able to, you can live stream through social media. So we have special handles that we share, so people
Okay.
could do it through Instagram
Yeah.
or through Facebook, and we facilitate those so people can connect at any time on those channels. And I think also we're going to check if we did it once over YouTube. Although
Uh-huh.
people, yeah, some people are using YouTube still, so we are mostly doing more Instagram and Facebook for that. That is not required because we know different people have different, yeah, and
Yes.
mhm, yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes you're out in the middle of nowhere. And doing a
exactly.
live stream is not optimal. Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes, and yes, and yeah, the different locations. I mean, it grew to 180 locations that we had before. So for us, it's more
Yeah.
important also that you can participate and not so much about if there are some technical difficulties. And I received an email recently also from somebody from Germany, but it was from not Germany like Berlin or some. It was like a town, and she was like, I'm not technology savvy, and I don't even know how to fill out the form or anything. So I'm like, it's okay,
Yeah.
if you want to participate, that's perfect. If it's a small group, because she was saying it's a small group and we want to participate, and like it's totally fine. If you can take pictures, amazing. If not, it's okay too. The important thing is
Yeah.
that you feel that you are with a bigger community that is like-minded.
Yes.
So yeah.
No, to be
Mhm.
part of something bigger, I think is important. You do get that sense of community, even if we're doing it here in Cairo, we know that we're involved in this bigger thing that is all over the world, and that really it does give you a real sense of connection and purpose. I mean, connection through purpose. So yeah,
yeah.
that's
And
beautiful.
in Minneapolis, so probably you guys did also, but anybody who wants to join in, they don't have to be dancers. As long as they can, I just teach them the movements. It's like easy, just
Yes.
reaching up for 8 counts. Um, but one of them who wasn't a dancer at all, but she just said, I only did this because you were willing to go through and teach me the movements. But she said when she was doing that, she just had this amazing feeling in her whole body, knowing that other people were doing these exact same movements all over the world.
Yeah.
She just said it was just so thrilling to be
Yes.
feeling that. Yeah. And I do want to put in a plug for our next upcoming, because I know Leslie has a big following of dancers around the world, and we would adore for you to join in our next Global Water Dances. As Vannia already said, it's finding an outdoor site that has water, and you know, your own dance can be short or long. There's no requirements about that. Oh, and we've also whittled down the section 3, the global dance, to 5 minutes. And you know, it's pretty straightforward and easy. There aren't complicated movements. So anyway, I want to invite.
Yeah, and I think it gives people an opportunity who aren't dancers also to dance, because they are simple movements or gestures, or it isn't, you're not jumping around and, you know, all kinds of stuff that you might not be able to do. So I think that, and I know from when we did it here, I still have women come up to me and say, that was one of the most amazing things that they ever did, and how it changed their life. And, you know, they didn't see themselves as dancers, but they got to perform for something, with something, or for something that had meaning, and how significant that was for them. So I think it really is, you know, I do encourage people to do it. Even if you think you're not a dancer, it's not difficult. The movements are not that difficult. I mean, I'm assuming that they're very similar to the ones that we used to do. It's not difficult. And I think that it is an opportunity to dance, even for somebody who isn't a dancer, and to go out there and do that. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like the beauty of the section 3, the global dance, is that the movements are.
So maybe we can get into that a little bit if people want to get involved.
Yes, definitely. I think what I was trying to say is the beauty of this global dance, a shared dance, is that you can do it as a group, as easy as you want or as difficult as you want, like depending that we have dance companies dancing it, and we have also people who have never danced before. We have senior citizen dancing it, people with Parkinson dancing it, people that are in chairs, people that are, so it's very flexible. So that's as I said, the beauty. And also we are doing a new global dance this year, so we are gathering all movements from all around the world right now to build it like in the first time. But then the other thing that Marylee was saying is that also a part of that, the section 4, the participatory dance, is that the audience members who are watching the dance, they're invited to do 4 simple movements. And that's also something beautiful for the artists themselves to give that to their communities, and to basically allowing people to say, I'm also a dancer, even if they say, I'm not a dancer, I cannot dance, I have 2 left feet. No, everybody can dance. You have a body, you can dance. And then they realize that, and it's like, it's so empowered, you know, it's like, it's very powerful. So it's giving the gift of dance to the community that maybe are not considering themselves as dancers. So
and to participate, I think that you know, that's a big part of ritual, is to get people to participate, again, in a very simple way, but then they become a piece of the whole production, or of the whole ritual. And then it is more inclusive, and it does give you even more of a sense of community. And I do think, again, the movements that they're asked to do are very simple, but that's nice. That's fun, because then anybody can participate. I don't think things need to be difficult or complex, and it removes that division between performer and audience when you can actually get the audience involved. So I think that's a really important part of the whole thing, and as I said, it makes it a lot of fun to be able to get people involved. So
And
yeah,
it's a tremendous feeling to be with your audience, and have them start joining in on the four movements. It just feels tremendous. It's like, oh, this is so exciting, and they're joining in. They want to join it.
Yeah. No, I do. I think people want to, but they think very often they can't. Things are just too complex. And if it's simple, then everybody can participate. Little kids can participate. Anybody can participate. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
sorry.
no, go finish your thought, and then I'll move on. Yes.
Yes, I love that many of the performances are intergenerational. Like we have performances where all the families are coming together and they are like, I'm dancing with my son. I cannot believe this. Like they realize that they are dancing there, or grandma is also joining in, and then, or people who maybe they don't know each other, but they are maybe 60 years of difference, they are dancing together. So it's really beautiful to witness that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think dance does bring people together.
Yeah, inclusivity is really important to us as a global water dance.
Yeah.
Really.
So if people want to get involved, tell us how they can do that.
Yes. Me, Marylee? Okay.
Yes.
Go, Vannia. Yeah.
So June 14, 2025 is our next Global Water Dances Day. So we will love people to join us as a dancer, choreographer, or as a audience member. And in our website, globalwaterdances.org, we have our global. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. We have there the invitation details about how to participate. But the main idea is that you can sign up if you want to lead a site, to sign up as a site leader or choreographer. And maybe if you have an idea of where do you want to do the dance, you can start sending that information. Or also you can send us an email to info@globalwaterdances.org to search more about it. But almost all the information is on our website. And we are going to have also meetings from time to time, starting very soon, by the end of the year. So we all also can know each other. People can know somebody from the other continent that is far away. And so that's also the beautiful thing about Global Water Dances, to know also your community before doing the dances. So anything else? I'm not sure.
Well, I also want to say that I think that there's a lot of support. I mean, that's what I felt when I got involved, that you aren't kind of out there by yourself. There are meetings and emails, and someone gives you the choreography, and there are videos. So I think if you choose to do this, you will get a lot of support from Global Water Dances, just as to how to. Obviously, you've done it for more than 10 years now, so you know a whole lot more than you did when I did it. But I felt really supported by the organization as far as how was I going to do this, and suggestions about, where you might get money if you need monetary support, or finding locations, or whatever. So I think that people shouldn't be intimidated, is what I'm saying. If you want to participate, then go and sign up, because I do think it is a lot easier to actually do it than it might seem if you're thinking about oh, I have to organize something. No, a lot of it's done for you, and there is a lot of support for the organizer. So I encourage you to do it. As I said, people still thank me for doing it here, and it was a beautiful experience. So I encourage people to get involved. I'd love to do it again here. It's just June is very hot outdoors. Both times we did it. The first time we did it, we were in the sun and the ground was so hot. We almost couldn't stand on it. So yeah, for us, it would be finding an appropriate location, but I'd love to do it again. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, just to tell people that you can go ahead and sign up now. And if you don't know where, you can just put TBA, to be announced, on everything. But if you know what city or place you're going to be in, just to start there. Yeah.
Yes. And then you'll start getting emails and things and getting more information. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you for sharing.
I want to say,
go ahead.
Two more things. One is, we were talking about beauty earlier, and I think that beauty in and of itself is healing. So I just love to put that out. And the other thing is the term universal, which of course, Leslie, it's your universal dancer. But I mean, from the get-go, way in the beginning, we just knew that dance was our chosen art form because of dance being a universal language. As we like to say that if everybody talks at the same time, it's bedlam, but everybody can dance at the same time and feel that connection. So I just wanted to add those two
synchrony.
Things.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
no, that's beautiful.
Woo! Yeah.
Yes,
awesome.
Absolutely. And I do. I mean, I really think that these, again, like the global piece is very moving. It's very deep. You really feel this connection to the water and what's happening through this story that's being told. So I think it is a wonderful medium for communication on a deeper level. And maybe that's what we need. Things are not working in this world very well. And maybe it's just that we need to find ways to communicate on that deeper level rather than on this just verbal, bantering, argumentative kind of level that most people are communicating on. So maybe you've hit on something even bigger, that this is the way to change the world, is to dance it into. I know there's a phrase about that, I think, dancing the world into creation or something, but it's not coming to me at the moment. So we'll leave it for someone else. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else before we wrap it up? Any other parting thoughts before we finish? So go ahead. Yes.
I just would like to, right now, to invite also maybe the audience to do those 4 movements that we do in water dance, if we can do it together. And maybe right now, yes, to give a little glimpse of the water dance.
Audience participation, and the audience can do it with us. Yes, absolutely. Okay, lead us through.
All right, so we're going to hold our hands in front of us, and it's going to imagine that we have water here, and then the water is going to go up in the form of clouds, elevating your hands. And then the water is going to go down in the shape of rain. Yes. And then the water is coming into your body. And then we're going to share the water with everyone. Yes. And then all together, water goes up. Breathing in, and water goes down. Water comes in. And the water goes out and to all the world. Thank you, Leslie.
Yes,
Thank you,
Leslie.
ladies.
This has been
Yes.
lovely to have a conversation with the three of you. So
Yes, and it's lovely for me to revisit this because, as I said, it was more than 10 years ago. So I'm
yeah,
happy to know what's happening now, and for the audience to know.
yeah.
So let
And
me just give out some context here. So Marylee, if people want to find out more about what you're doing, your website, globalsiteperformances.org, and I'll have all the links in the show notes. So they are clickable, but this is just to let you know. Vanya, you have a couple of websites. You have the global www.globalwaterdances.org. And then you also have a personal website, which is your name, www.vanniaibarguen.com. And again, that'll be in the show notes. And then you're on Instagram. We can find you at Vannia I, so VANNIAI, and also VIDA Dance Arts, and at GW Dances. So that's Instagram. So there's no excuse not to find not to find the ladies. They're easily found. So yes. So I hope if you want to pursue this, definitely go to globalwaterdances.org and sign up. And as Marylee said, you'll start getting information, and then you can work it out as you go along, because I do think that you will get a lot of assistance on that. So,
and could I just say, one of my highlights, Leslie, was you talking about the women who come up to you still and just say how important it was to dance by the Nile with you. So
yes.
Thank you.
No, I think it is a deep experience for the people who do it. So, it's worth it. It's worth putting the effort in, because it is life-changing on some level. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you for being here and sharing your knowledge and your experiences and this beautiful form of global water dances that you've created. Thank you for doing that, because it is important in our future moving forward. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to the audience for being here. If you need to find out more information about me, you can go to www.universaldancer.com. And I also have an online school that I teach basic and not so basic dance classes. So that's universaldancer.thinkific.com. And I hope that you will join us again next month. And I do really encourage you to go to Global Water Dances and just check out the website and see if you want to get involved. It's a beautiful thing to be involved in. As I said, women are still thanking me for doing it, and I really have wonderful memories of having done it. So it's a nice community experience, and again, engaging with dance and hopefully creating a change in the world. So I encourage you to do that. All right. Well, thank you for being here, and I hope you'll join us again. Bye-bye.